I'm Jordan Crook.
I'm Ryan Lawler.
We're all writers for TechCrunch, and we are live at TechCrunch Disrupt, San Francisco 2012. It's an afternoon break right now. We just had Tim Armstrong on stage with TechCrunch founder Mike Arrington, which was a fun interview.
A surprise.
TechCrunch Disrupt is huge today. I'm looking at the tweets. We always read the tweets with the hashtag TCDisrupt. And TC Disrupt is the #1 trending topic on Twitter right now. I mean, it's right below whatever the promoted, whatever that is. But
promoted,
so it's the top one. I think that was because partial bullshit joke from yesterday. Hope you've all been watching. But I mean, do you think that had anything to do with the 2 o'clock interview today?
Who was that again?
It was Mark Zuckerberg.
Right,
yeah.
Oh, right.
Good kid.
It might have something to do with that since he's the second trending topic.
Is he the second? Yes, he is. Mark Zuckerberg's second trending topic on Twitter. So that was big. He killed it, right?
Oh yeah, and I think that if stock price went up, I mean,
like
people
5%?
people seem to really like his answers to the questions, and he was honest. I mean, you have to give him some credit for saying, yeah, you know, obviously post-IPO has been disappointing, but we have a huge plan coming up for mobile, and we're gonna execute. So that was
the
great.
other thing is, I mean, just looking at his poise and the way they answered all the questions, it was like so totally different from those old interviews with the sweat pouring down. And
exactly. Yeah, I
really
did see a couple tweets that were saying, "Whoa, what a turnaround from 5 years ago when he was on stage with John Battelle, or when he was on stage with Kara Swisher once. I think there was a very painful interview once at the D conference.
And Mike Arrington literally started the interview by saying, "So you have lost about half the value of your stock."
Yeah.
What say you?
Yeah.
Elephant in the room.
That's a rough thing to say.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of
but beyond
the
Facebook thing, we've got to get into the startups.
Right.
Right after
Sure.
that was the startup Battlefield, and which is really what Disrupt is really all about at its core. So the first Battlefield company that presented was YourMechanic, which is a startup that actually began at Y Combinator last year. They've gotten $1.8 million in funding. They online marketplace to hire top-notch mechanics who will fix your car at your home or your office.
right, so like an Uber for mechanics, kind of.
Yeah.
Call them and they come straight to you. I think you're supposed to save between 30 and 50%.
Right.
From you going into a regular mechanic shop. So it seems viable. It seems like a good idea, especially since people are always feeling like they're overpaying to fix their car.
Right.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of just like this marketplace concept in general, and the fact that they come to you, like you don't have to take the time out to drive to the garage and leave your car behind and hope that it's done by the time you finish work or whatever. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the convenience is good. And the next one, another thing for a bit more convenience is Caretaker, a mobile platform that allows patients and caregivers to pre-plan and coordinate everything they need before and after a hospital stay.
Yeah, I think their first app is going to be a pre and postnatal app.
Yeah, it's called Knocked Up. Right.
There's actually an app called Knocked App. If you take a picture of yourself, it'll make you look pregnant. But that's very different from this.
I get what they were trying to do there with the Knocked Up, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. People really take their pregnancies very seriously. That it's a funny thing, but
I think that the difficulty is it's obviously a very important issue. It's a very important app for pre and post procedure care, but getting people to use it, the customer acquisition, it's not innately social in any way, shape, or form because it's so private.
Absolutely, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works. So the next one, we got to go quick here. Zumper, apartment rental platform.
The thing I don't understand about Zumper is that there's such a crowded space. I think that Zumper is interesting in that everything has to be legit. So you're not going to go on Street Easy and you're going to find a ton of stuff that's already gone off of the market, whereas Zumper makes sure that everything you're looking at is within like 5 hours of being listed, which is really, really helpful. But other than that, I don't see a huge difference from a lot of the competition.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are a few things. It's, there's a messaging platform. There's sort of like the pre-qualifying, so you enter in some information and, the property management company can say you're qualified or not before you even go see it. So I think that that's helpful, but again, there are other folks.
The space definitely needs disruption, so I'm glad to see someone come in guns blazing, for sure.
People are trying. LeConto, a CMO and business development in a box for small businesses.
Yeah, it's basically like templates, like almost like WordPress templates for small and medium-sized businesses to launch a marketing strategy and launch a promotion or a campaign, which is difficult.
It's difficult. It's a small, medium-sized businesses, especially local businesses, it's a difficult market to crack, and I think even when you do it, like if you're a Groupon, you get that big, like it's still the amount of value that you provide for the amount of work and hand-holding that you do is so small.
Yeah, the small and medium businesses do need some hand-holding, but they need help. Matthew Cassinelli tweeted, just watch LeConto live, and I already know a few people I want to send it to.
Okay.
So it could, it's just...
The founder struggled a little bit in his presentation, but I think that the product speaks for itself for sure. So.
Yeah. Cool, and the last one that presented, it was called Organizer. Allows you to compare services in your area by price, location, rating.
That's not Organizer. Organizer was the one that you can go around and do a political campaign, all of the canvassing from a mobile app. So you can create an app with all of the questions that you'd ask. You see real-time feeds for where your campaigners are. You get their answers back in real time, and you basically get rid of thousands of pages of paper.
Right. I think that this would have been great if it were launched 6 months ago or even 9 or a year ago, but right now, I mean, all the political work's being done, so it's going to be difficult to make any sort of headway in that until the next election cycle, so who knows.
And then it's 4 years old, so definitely not great on the timing thing, but maybe with the publicity of Disrupt, they'll be able to get going quickly and be a part of this election, so that's the hope.
Did you guys get a sense from who the judges or who you thought was kind of a standout here? Was there a standout in this group?
I know that Organizer had probably far and away the best presentation we've seen yet. They didn't have a motorcycle or anything, but their slides were really well put together. They seemed super comfortable on stage explaining what exactly they do, and it was just a really seamless presentation and launch of a company, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I'd agree with that.
I like YourMechanic as well. I thought, people seemed interested in that. You can see the stage. It looks like people might be trickling back into their seats. We have a couple minutes here. So what's up next? We have another round of startups.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
What's the little
Let me
title
see,
for
it's
that one?
called Disrupting Learning.
Ooh,
which
I
will
love
be
stuff
cool.
like this. Education and healthcare never get enough attention.
Right.
So I love that we're actually dedicating an entire...
I think, and I think the difficulty with both of those markets, though, is that they're so ingrained, it's either incumbents or, monopolies, right? So, it's just such a difficult market to crack. Right?
Exactly, and everyone's so, like you said, ingrained in what they already do. It took doctors forever to get on a computer.
Right.
Everyone's scared. They're scared of doing that kind of stuff. They could get in big trouble. And the judges should be great. Jeff Clavier from SoftTech BC, Ellen Levy from Silicon Valley Connect, Rahul Sood from Microsoft, and Mark Suster from GRP Partners.
Cool. Wow, that should be a...
Yeah, that's a great panel of judges.
Always good to hear from Jeff Clavier. SoftTech has really grown so much and had a lot of successes and stuff. So if I had to guess, I would bet that he would be one of the harsher ones. You always need like a Simon Cowell type.
Oh yeah, we always have to have at least one guy up there who's like, well, I don't understand it.
Raise your hand if you ever use it. Not me. But they're all good startups, so they wouldn't be part of the Disrupt, group of companies, Battlefield finalists.
Can we talk about how many we sorted through? Just
just briefly. What was it? Thousands?
It was a huge list. I mean, each of us probably looked at
50 or 60 each.
At least I looked at 80.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe 60. I don't remember now. See, it's like childbirth. Like you forget the pain as soon as like you don't remember. But yeah, there were a lot of submissions, and we hope we all pick the cream of the crop. And they're all good companies.
I'm really excited to see the judging panel do their thing tomorrow during the finals, because that's always kind of the most hard-hitting. They always tend to be a little bit comedic too. We have Michael Arrington. I think Marissa Mayer's going to be on that panel as well, and she asks some pointed questions. She does not mess around at all. So that should be really interesting to watch. And the two of them have such interesting chemistry too. Michael and Marissa they completely feed off of each other.
Do.
So
yeah, well, looks like we're going to the stage.
Excellent.